All right, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Hello, everyone. Yahoo! So sorry about the long wait, everybody. We were just setting up for today's stream. Also, sorry about that. I had to wash dishes earlier, and the dishes took a little while to wash up. Yeah. And then the presentation also took a while to get done as well. But yeah. How is everybody all doing today? Welcome into today's stream. Good morning, everybody. Yeah. Good afternoon. Hi, Ado. Hi, Hades. Thank you so much for the wait. And 1914 from Irium. Thank you for the wait. I appreciate the wait. Thank you. Welcome in. Okay. So, as you guys all know, today we have a very, very exciting presentation to show you guys today. Now, I know you guys are probably wondering about what this presentation is all about, but as you guys have saw through the thumbnails and as you guys have saw on Twitter and Blue Sky, today we're going to be doing a presentation about VTuber Expo's applications. Just listening in, no worries. But yeah, today is just mainly about listening in through the presentation and answering and asking your questions. Yeah. Welcome on in, Reaper. You're just in time. We're about to start. All right. Okay. So, that being said, everybody, today is a talk show. It's a podcast. It's all about... It is all about... Oh, wait. Presentation. There we go. So, today, what do you think about my new icon? Oh, nice! Okay. So, with that being said, let's get started because we have a lot to talk about and a lot of questions to answer about VTuber Expo and participating in events for today. Okay. So, with that being said, I have a video I will be showing you guys, and then we're going to start it with the presentation today so we can learn more about the event opportunities. So, these are for VTubers who want to make event appearances in the Hawaiian Islands. In 2026, as you guys know, VTuber Expo has just recently opened up slots for our 2026 event. So, if you want to share this presentation around, do feel free to do so. But in the meantime, let's get started. Alright, here we go. Alright, so that is who we are. Welcome on into VTuber Expo. Welcome in. Okay, so we are VTuber Expo. As you guys have saw earlier with our events, we are doing a lot of events for today. So, let's go on to the beginning of our presentation for today, which is about the guide to 2026 events, VTuber Expo Edition. So, I'm going to lower down the background music so you guys can hear. Okay. Alright. Can you guys hear me? Can everybody hear me? Okay. Alright, thumbs up in the chat. Alright. Just want to make sure that we have all thumbs ups in the chat. Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay. We just want to make sure everything is all going well on our end. Okay. Any other additional questions before we get started with today's presentation? Okay. Any other additional questions? All right. Any additional questions or support? Any concerns before we get started? All right, you hear me? Okay, okay. Sounds good, sounds good. Thank you. All right. So, today is about how to join VTuber Expo's events in 2026. Friendly reminder for those of you guys that don't know me, hello, I am VTuber Expo's least chaotic Pink Bunny Mage, Cooky Usagida. I'm the Pink Bunny Mage from VTuber Expo. And when I'm not usually part of VTuber Expo, I play tactical and fighting games. And I also do events from across the Hawaiian Islands. I'm part of a VTuber organization called VTuber Expo, which mainly does events across the Hawaiian Islands. So, yeah, it is good to meet you guys for the first time. For those of you guys who are joining us in for the first time, welcome in. Yeah, let's get started. Okay, today for our table of contents that we're going to go over is what is VTuber Expo? What does VTuber Expo do? Who is behind VTuber Expo? Why Hawaii? And how can I join Hawaii events with VTuber Expo? So, our main things that we're going to go over today are all of these 5 criteria. So right now, you're more than welcome to take a screenshot at any time. Friendly reminder, you guys are more than welcome to take notes or take screenshots at any time throughout this event. So just as a friendly reminder that you are more than welcome to take screenshots or ask questions in the chat throughout the event. All right, let's talk about VTuber Expo. Okay, now for those of you guys that are asking and wondering about what is VTuber Expo, so to answer you guys' question on what VTuber Expo is about, because I have gotten a lot of questions on what is VTuber Expo about, what is it? So, those of you that don't know what VTuber Expo is, right? Okay, so those of you guys that don't know, what is VTuber Expo? What is this organization about? So to answer your question about what is VTuber Expo and what they do, right? We have to understand what VTuber Expo is. Okay, so VTuber Expo is a Hawaii-based VTuber event organization and a convention with a focus on the Hawaii market. So we are a Hawaii-based, we are a VTuber event organization, but the difference is that we are focused mainly on the Hawaii market. So we're basically a middleman for VTubers who are looking at making their VTuber debuts in the Hawaiian Islands. So if you're a VTuber who is looking at making your VTuber event debut in Hawaii, or you're part of a VTuber company that wants to go to the Hawaiian Islands, then we are your go-to place. We are your go-to place to make that happen for you. All right. That is who we are. And that's the organization that I'm a part of. It's called VTuber Expo. It was founded in 2024 as an online-based pilot project. So we originally started as a pilot project in July 2024. So we're still relatively new to the game. So we just celebrated our 1-year anniversary in July of 2025. So we're still pretty new. We're still relatively new to the game. Yeah. We're still relatively new. So what's happening at VTuber Expo right now, as you guys have saw the news, is that we are in the process of becoming an LLC, and we are now open for the 2026 event season with a Kickstarter campaign on the way. So we have a Kickstarter campaign that is currently in the works that we are excited to talk about, which is going to help us with our LLC expansion, and it's on the way. So stick around. Right. In the past, we have been involved in a variety of different events. So these are our in-house events, such as the VTuber Care Awards and the VTuber Winter Prom. So these are our in-house events, and those are usually held online only. All right. Does anybody have any questions about what VTuber Expo is or what VTuber Expo does? Interesting? My CSC. Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Any other additional questions before we move on to the next one? All right. Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate the support. Thank you, thank you. Okay. But yes, if you guys got any questions, got any support, got any questions, guys, please do not hesitate. Do not hesitate to ask your questions at any given time. We're more than happy to help answer any questions that you guys may have. So friendly reminder, you guys got any questions, got any support that you want to ask us anytime, please don't hesitate to ask us. Question number 2. What does VTuber Expo do? So, you might be asking, if VTuber Expo is a Hawaii-based VTuber event organization with a focus on the Hawaii market, so this is a non-profit. Currently, right now, we are in the process of becoming an LLC. So right now, we started out originally as a pilot project, and we're in the process of becoming an LLC. So our Kickstarter campaign is on the way, and then the website's on the way too. Also, welcome in, Zane. Welcome in from Irium. How are you doing? Hope you're doing good, and thank you so much for stopping on by. All right. But yeah, if you guys want to lurk, if you guys want to hear, feel free to lurk at any given time or ask you guys questions. But right now, we are a pilot project currently, and we're in the process of becoming an LLC, which basically means it's a limited liability company, yeah. So, our Kickstarter campaign is on the way to fund the expansion, one of them which does include the GET and the business license. That is one of the things that the Kickstarter campaign will be covering. But the real question is, what does VTuber Expo do? Now that we know a little bit about what VTuber Expo is, the main question is, what does VTuber Expo do? Okay. So, VTuber Expo mainly does VTuber event projects across the Hawaiian Islands. And what they do is we bring the Hawaii marketing and tech support so you can shine on stage virtually in Hawaii. So that is what we mainly do. These two things. We do marketing and tech support. So do keep in mind, we are not an agency. We are not a VTuber group. We are a VTuber event organization, which is different from our... Yeah. From what we're talking about. I'm gonna remove these two because I have noticed that it does repeat again. So we're gonna put these two down. Okay. And then we're gonna get the slides back up. All right, there we go. But yes, we provide tech support and Hawaii marketing. So if you're looking at making your VTuber debut in the Hawaiian Islands, like you want to do events in Hawaii and you want to appear at conventions, then we are the ones that you can go to for all of your Hawaii VTuber related needs. So let's say you want to debut at KawaiiCon, right? Like you want to make an appearance as a VTuber at KawaiiCon, right? But you're not so sure how the Hawaii system works, or you're not so sure about how it works or what you want to do. Luckily, with VTuber Expo, we do the tech support, or if you're a VTuber that's living out of islands, like you're living, let's say, on the mainland, or you're living outside of the US, we do all the tech-related stuff without you having to travel to the Hawaiian Islands. Yeah. So that's what we do. That's what we do. Here are some of our past works that we have done. So as you guys can tell, we've been involved in several different projects across the Hawaiian Islands. So here is what we have been doing in the past. So over the past couple years, since we first started in 2024, and even before VTuber Expo was established, back when I was just doing events way back in 2022, 2023, we have been involved in several different event-related projects. Some of the projects that we have done across the Hawaiian Islands include appearing at Hawaii Geek Meet, which we did in 2023. We appeared at KawaiiCon several times, 2022, 2023, and 2024, but the images only show 2023 and 2024. So this is what we did. We did 2023 over here, and 2024 right over here. You know, all the VTubers that appeared at KawaiiCon. So we invited 9 VTubers to come to KawaiiCon and speak at KawaiiCon to interact and hang out with the attendees. So that's what we did. Yeah. And then we also did a VTubers 101 panel. As many of the KawaiiCon attendees may know us, we are known for our VTuber panel. So if you ever go to KawaiiCon, there's a good chance that you might have spotted our VTuber panels. That is what we are mainly known for. We are known mainly for our VTuber 101 panel. So that's what we do. We do VTuber 101 panels at KawaiiCon. So that is mainly what we do. Yeah. And then we also have appeared at Hawaii Geek Meet. This is me with Ryan Ozawa, who's one of the hosts of the Hawaii Geek Meet. So we met Ryan Ozawa. We also have done karaoke relays. This is one of our participants from the 2025 karaoke relay. And we have more participants that are coming in from the 2024 karaoke relays. In addition, we have also appeared at events across Hawaii. We did Hawaii PopCon, KawaiiCon. Wait. Hold on. That one meant to say Pop Culture Expo. We have made an appearance at PopCon, but we mainly did Hawaii PopCon. That's a different event. So hold on. Pop Culture Expo. My apologies, sir. That is what it's meant to say. So hold on. Let me take a look into that. And there we go. Okay. Sorry about that, everybody. Alright. So, this is some of our past works. So, all the things that we have done. Pop Culture Expo, KawaiiCon, Hawaii Geek Meet. And we have more to come. So, we're not just doing KawaiiCon and Hawaii Geek Meet and a Pop Culture Expo. We have more events in store for 2026. As we guys have all known, we're also preparing for Megabond. So, we're pretty excited for all the event opportunities that we have coming up. So, stay tuned. Alright. And here are more of our participants that we did for 2025's VTuber Winter Prom. These are all of our participants from over the past year of the VTuber Winter Prom. So we have had them do karaoke relays, and it looks like this. So these are our karaoke relay participants. These are our participants, and they all got to participate and sing their Christmas songs. And we also have our 2024 karaoke relay participants right over here. And if you guys have seen our social media posts, we also appeared at many different events, including K-Pop Koname, Hawaii Pop Culture, Hawaii PopCon, Super Saturday Hawaii, and Video Game Marketplace. So we appeared at several different events across the Hawaiian Islands throughout the year, in addition to also doing panels at events there too. Yeah. So, if you're a VTuber and you ever want to do events in the Hawaiian Islands, then we're your go-to people. So, anybody have any questions or any concerns before we switch over? You have any events that you guys want to do? So, for example, do you guys ever want to do KawaiiCon, Hawaii PopCon, Super Saturday? Do you guys have any conventions or events you guys want to do in mind? You know, VTubers who you guys think would be interested in doing events like this? So this is some of the stuff that we did. We worked at many different projects. So we did like in person and online. So VTuber Expo's events are both online and in person. So if, for example, let's say, maybe I don't want to do a convention appearance at, let's say, a convention in Hawaii, but I still want to be part of VTuber Expo. No worries, we also got that too. Yeah, so if a convention appearance is not for you, that's totally okay, because we also have our in-house events. We have our VTuber Winter Prom and our VTuber Care Awards too. Our VTuber Care Awards is, however, located on my channel. It's not located on the VTuber Expo channel. If you want to see how the VTuber Care Awards works, then check out my channel. We do have the VTuber Care Awards stuff that you can check out. But yeah. Any events that you guys want to do in mind? Do you guys have any events that you guys want to do in mind? Like Kawaii Con, Hawaii Geek Meet. I know for Hawaii Geek Meet, I don't think there is Hawaii Geek Meet anymore, but we got to be able to participate in Hawaii Geek Meet back in 2023. But yeah, it was such an awesome opportunity too, but I don't think there is a Hawaii Geek Meet anymore from the last time I checked, but I can check again. But I have heard that they since discontinued Hawaii Geek Meet. But yeah, here are all of the things that we have done. Well, some of the things that we have done. We still have a lot. This is some of the stuff that we worked on. So those are our convention appearances. Those are our events that we did that are in-house. And these are also our convention appearances. Yeah. So we have plenty of opportunities. Thank you for the hype on Arium. I appreciate the hype. Okay. Any last minute questions or concerns before we go on to our next slide? Alright, any questions or concerns? You guys have any other questions or any additional concerns before we move on to our next one? Alright. Any other additional questions? Okay. Alright. But yeah. These are all the stuff that we did. So if you'd like to check out our events and our panels that we did, you're more than welcome to check it out. But yeah. Nenji! Welcome in! You're just in time. We are currently talking about VTuber Expo and our panels and events. Welcome in. So, this is a event organization for VTubers. So what we're currently talking about today is about our event slots and opportunities. Because as you guys have heard, we officially have opened up event slots for 2026. But yeah, these are all of the stuff that we did. So we did like convention projects. We have plenty more. But this is some of the things that we worked on in the past. So yeah. Do you have any questions before we move on with our next slide? Okay. Thumbs up in the chat. Alright. Thumbs up. But yeah, that's what we did in the past. Okay. Now that we know about all the events that we have for VTuber Expo, now you guys know about what VTuber Expo is, right? Or Hawaii VTuber Expo, right? You guys know what VTuber Expo is, right? And we got to learn more about, not just about VTuber Expo, but we got to learn more about what VTuber Expo does, right? Who is behind VTuber Expo? So, you might be asking about who is behind VTuber Expo. Alright. So how many VTuber events will be in the US this year? Hold on. Let me check the chat. Yeah, I don't know why the chat's not showing up on my end, but let me refresh the chat. Hold on. Yeah, that's a good question. That's a very good question. So, let's check the chat. Okay. So, I am so sorry. I don't know why the chat is not showing up on my end. Okay. Hold on. I got a very good question for the YouTube side. So that's a good question. That's a very good question. Alright. So, how many VTuber events will be in the US this year? Also, where will they be? So, there are a lot of VTuber events, but what we mainly specialize in is Hawaii. So, what we mainly specialize in is the Hawaiian Islands. There are plenty of VTuber events throughout the mainland US, but there is not a lot of opportunities for VTubers in Hawaii. So, there's a lot of reasons why there is not a lot of VTuber events in the Hawaiian Islands, like for event opportunities. There are a lot of reasons, which we'll be covering later. We're gonna cover the reasons why later on, why this may be the case. But when it comes to VTuber events in the Hawaiian Islands, we're currently right now looking at about like 5 to 10 at the most with Hawaii events. Yeah, at the most. But yeah. As for the US, the mainland US, there are plenty of VTuber events. But VTuber Expo mainly focuses on Hawaii. That is what we mainly focus on. We focus mainly on the Hawaii market. So yeah. That is what we mainly focus on. I imagine a lot of events. Yeah, we do a lot. We do a lot in the Hawaiian Islands. So, usually when it comes to VTuber events in the Hawaiian Islands, we're the ones that usually do like the events and all of that. There's also another company that does like VTuber production services in Hawaii, and they do events. So, I recommend if you guys want to check out 2 other organizations that also do like VTuber, like Hawaii related stuff, then check out Twitch Hawaii and Vtoku. They also are based in Hawaii, and they also focus on the Hawaii market. Can't speak for Hawaii because I'm not from there. My CSC. But yeah, no worries. That's cool. Yeah. So, as for VTuber Expo, we're the ones that mainly do the events for VTubers across the Hawaiian Islands. So, when it comes to bringing VTubers to Hawaii, like KawaiiCon, for example, we're usually the ones that are behind it. Sometimes, like what we did for 2025, we would also partner up with like Twitch Hawaii, for example. So we also do that too. But yeah, all great questions, guys. Thank you. That's cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay. Who is behind VTuber Expo? So, now that we know about what VTuber Expo is and what they do, the question is, who is behind VTuber Expo? And that's me! That's me. Hi. So, I am a Hawaii-based Pink Bunny Mage VTuber of VTuber Expo. I debuted in July 2020, so I've been in the VTuber game for almost 6 years now. So I've been streaming mainly on Twitch, and I also do streams on YouTube and Ethereum as well. But my main platform is Twitch. I mainly stream on Twitch, so that is my main streaming platform. So I started in July 2020. I used to be known as Pink Bunny Cookie back in the day, and then I changed my name to Cooky Usagida in December 2020. So now I am known as Cooky Usagida, and I've been known as Cooky Usagida ever since. Yeah. The name Cooky Usagida stuck because it beats Sweet Biscuit Rabbit. And Cookie is also the name of a BT21 character. That's my favorite character, so I ended up naming it after Cookie. Thank you for the awa. Thank you. Awa. Thank you. Appreciate it. Welcome on in, by the way. Appreciate the awa. Thank you. Awa. Thank you so much. But yeah. Oh! ASAC, welcome in! Let me give you a shout out. welcome in. Thank you for the object redeem. Let me shout you out. Hold on. But yeah, you are just in time. Welcome on in. Just in time. But yeah, we are learning all about VTuber Expo today. How long has the expo been running? Since 2024. So we have been in the game since July of 2024. Thank you, Cole. Hi, of course. So we were founded in July of 2024. So it's still relatively new. We are still relatively new. Yeah. 2024. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. So, perfect, because right now we are currently learning about VTuber Expo. So currently on this slide right now. So recent-ish. Yeah, we've been doing events since 2022, but we founded in 2024. So we just started VTuber Expo more recent years, yeah. So we're in our second year of operation, and now we're thinking about going into a pilot project because of the demand for VTubers in Hawaii. We've been getting a large demand, so that's why. Yeah. Alright. So, you actually might be wondering what my affiliation history is. So, truth is, Cookie Nation, I have not always been an indie VTuber. I haven't always been an indie. In fact, before I started VTuber Expo, did you guys know that I originally was in a VTuber group? Yeah. So, I wasn't originally the description almost makes it sound like a 501(c)(3), but apparently it's probably to be a for-profit business. So basically, it's like an event organization. And how we're mainly planning on funding it, it's mainly through crowdfunding. Yeah. Like crowdfunding. And then sponsorships and all that. Ah! Nakamura-san! Osachi desu! Osachi desu! Konnichiwa! この配信はVTuber Expo 配信です。I see, yeah. So, the Kickstarter campaign is to help us be able to expand VTuber Expo's operations. And then later down the line, what we're planning on doing with the Kickstarter funding, and we're going to go over the Kickstarter campaign funding, is mainly upgrade our equipment, get the business licenses, to keep the events operational. Yeah, that's what it is. But we are planning on doing a Kickstarter campaign, like crowdfunding, to be able to keep VTuber Expo's lights on and expand it. Yeah. But yeah, thank you for your question, Ado. Hi, Bob. Welcome in. You guys are just in time. Welcome. So, we're currently working right now on talking about VTuber Expo and what it's all about. But yeah, I'm super glad that so many of you guys are coming out to ask you guys questions. I know VTuber Expo has only been around for about 1 year. But yeah, look forward to it. Tadaima desu. Nakamura-san, tadaima. But yeah. I was originally part of a VTuber group, and then the VTuber group I was in ended up merging with another VTuber group, so it ceased operations in early 2024, and in about 5 months later, I founded VTuber Expo just about 6 months after I left my previous group. Yeah. So now I'm under VTuber Expo now, and now I'm just the owner of VTuber Expo, and now I'm under it. But yeah. But right now we're just a pilot project. But we are expanding VTuber Expo to become an LLC. So that not only we can receive more funding, but we could also do more events like this, you know? and continue to serve the people of Hawaii with our VTuber events. So we love what we do, you know? We love what we do. And we want to continue to serve the people of Hawaii through VTuber events for many, many years to come. We love what we do. And we want to expand it. So that's what we're planning on doing. Okay. So a little fun fact about me. I was originally an indie VTuber. I started as an indie in July 2020. So I wasn't part of a VTuber group when I debuted. I was originally an indie. And then I got accepted into a VTuber group, which then merged with a VTuber agency. And I ended up transferred over to the VTuber agency. And then I left the VTuber agency about just like a week or two later. And then I went independent. And then now I'm part of VTuber Expo in July 2024. So, VTuber Expo's been around for almost 2 years. And we're pretty excited. You know, we're pretty excited for the future. We have a lot of exciting plans and exciting works ahead. Yeah. My illustrator is Snowboard Barbados. I know I had a lot of people who've been asking me about who my illustrator is. And my illustrator is Snowboard Barbados, also known as real_NoVoid on Twitter. That's my illustrator's name. So if you guys want to check out my illustrator, you guys can check them out on Twitter at real_NoVoid or NoVoid Barbados on Blue Sky. So that is my illustrator. If you guys want to check it out, yeah. And the type of VTuber I am, the kind of VTuber I am, is I am the least chaotic pink bunny mage you ever meet. And that is a true statement, because I am not chaotic. And I will tell you guys, I'm not a gremlin. But that is who I am. I'm the least chaotic pink bunny mage you'll ever meet. And my goal and my dream is to turn Hawaii into the VTuber capital of the Pacific and to have a global convention appearance someday. And I am working very hard every day to make them come true. So that's what we're working on. Right now, we're working tirelessly to turn Hawaii into the VTuber capital of the Pacific and to also have a global convention appearance within 5 years. So that's what we're working on right now. We are working on making this happen. But for VTuber Expo, my dream with VTuber Expo is to turn Hawaii into the VTuber capital of the Pacific. So I would love to make this all happen. Right over here. But yeah, if you guys got any questions or any concerns about who I am as a VTuber. But yeah. Also, speaking of events, did you guys all know that we're also working on another event as well? So, by the way, speaking of events that we also have, Cooky Nation, I'm working on an event for my birthday on June 4th. So, that is what we're working on. That is what we are working on at the moment. So, yeah. That is what we're working on. All right. Any other questions or concerns before we go on to our next slide? Like, do you guys have anything you guys want to ask me about why I chose to be a pink bunny mage, or what makes being a pink bunny mage really interesting? But yeah, any questions you guys want to ask me, or you guys want to get to know me before we go on with our next presentation? Okay. Any other questions? Any other questions? All right. But yes, I am the VTuber behind VTuber Expo. So if you got any other questions you guys want to ask me, don't hesitate to ask me any questions or concerns that you guys may have about VTuber Expo. All right. Next one. Okay. Let's go on to our why Hawaii. So, I know we have gotten a lot of questions about our panels and our events, but the question that VTuber Expo wants to answer is, why do we focus on the Hawaii market so much? Why have I been pushing for VTubers in Hawaii? Why do I push really, really hard to bring VTubers to the Hawaiian Islands? Why do we do what we do? Why do we do what we do? Why has VTuber Expo started as a way that we can bring VTubers to the Hawaiian Islands? So why does VTuber Expo do what they do? Why do we do what we do? But yeah, that is the question. Why do we do what we do? So, can anybody put reasons, like guesses, on why VTuber Expo exists? Why is there VTuber Expo? Why is there a VTuber Expo? Could you guys guess on why there is a VTuber Expo? So why do we have VTuber Expo? Yeah, could you guys put any guesses on why we have VTuber Expo? But yeah, any guesses? Okay. Alright. Let's see. So any guesses? Any guesses on why VTuber Expo focuses so heavily on the Hawaii market? But yeah, feel free to ask your guys questions. Feel free to put your guys' questions and your guys' thoughts. Why does VTuber Expo, why does Cooky Usagida really, 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 really push for the Hawaii market? Why does VTuber Expo do what they do? Okay. Alright. All good responses, everybody. Okay. Why does VTuber Expo focus on Hawaii? So, feel free to discuss this in the chat. I'm gonna write this down. But, why does VTuber Expo, right, push so hard for the Hawaii market? Why do we focus so heavily on the Hawaii market? But yeah, feel free to answer this question in the chat, guys. But yeah, we're gonna go on with our reason for VTuber Expo's questions. Also, thank you so much for the hype on Irium. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate the support. Thank you, everybody. Alright. Any last minute thoughts or questions before we go on with our next one? Alright. Last minute questions. Last minute support. Last minute questions. Alright. Any last minute questions or thoughts about why VTuber Expo before we move on? Okay. Alright, we're gonna put the answers. Okay. So, here is why at the moment. Okay. It's all good. No worries. So, let's talk about the main things that we want to talk about why VTuber Expo exists in Hawaii. So, you guys probably might be wondering about the Hawaii market and why there is so limited VTuber events when compared to the mainland. Most VTuber events are usually held in California, right? Or held in Texas or California, right? There's a lot of VTuber events going on the mainland side. But the question is, whenever you go to Hawaii, right? There's not many VTuber event opportunities. So why has VTuber Expo been pushing for a VTuber event market in Hawaii? So, there are several different questions on why High VTuber Expo has been pushing for a VTuber event market in Hawaii, and these are the 4 reasons. Number 1, Hawaii has a very significantly different market compared to the US mainland, and it is mainly smaller and has different wants and needs. So keep in mind, Hawaii is a tourism-based economy, and the market is heavily based on tourism and the military. And keep in mind, the cost of living and restrictions also plays a very big role. Logistics, restrictions also play a really, really big role in why there is not that many VTuber events in the Hawaiian Islands compared to the US mainland. So keep in mind that the market is very different compared to the US mainland, and there's different wants and needs. So for example, as we have seen with the events that we do in Hawaii, Hawaii's economy is very tourism based, and it's also very local based, meaning that relationships and local businesses, the local community is very valued on the islands. So for example, right, if you ever go to like KawaiiCon, for example, you'll see a lot of mom and pop shops. You'll see a lot of small businesses like mom and pop shops. You'll see a lot of artists that are there. So keep in mind that relationships and community, or kuleana and ohana, play a very big role in Hawaii's market. So for a VTuber that wants to enter in the Hawaii market from, let's say, the mainland or from another area outside the US, keep in mind that Hawaii is very regional based, and it is mainly smaller and has different wants and needs. So do keep this in mind. But despite the fact that the market is smaller, they also have a very large and rising demand in Hawaii. So we have seen at High VTuber Expo firsthand how many VTubers really want to do events in Hawaii. So we have been seeing a very large increase and a very large demand of VTubers, pretty much rising exponentially, of VTubers who want to do event appearances in the Hawaiian Islands. We had VTubers and their fans too, not just VTubers, but fans who want to see more VTuber event opportunities in the Hawaiian Islands. Despite that, and VTubers are very, very popular too. You know, despite the logistics, despite the strict business rules, despite the significantly different market, and the wants and needs, they have a very large and rising demand in Hawaii. But the price and logistics play a big role on why there are so limited opportunities for VTubers in Hawaii. It's the prices and the logistics that play a really, really big role. Hey Zenoku, welcome in. You're just in time. We are currently right now doing a presentation about Hawaii's event culture, and right now we're also talking about High VTuber Expo as a whole. So as you guys know, High VTuber Expo has just recently opened up event slots, so we are learning more about High VTuber Expo 2 today. Oh, cool, yeah! We are doing event slots opportunities today. Yeah. But despite the fact that VTubers play a very big role in the demand for events in Hawaii, the price and logistics unfortunately play a very, very big role on why there are so limited opportunities for events in Hawaii. And this is something that High VTuber Expo, you guys can tell right over here, is working to change. We are working on changing this. That's our goal. We want to be the go-to destination for all things VTuber in Hawaii. So we're changing it. We're working on changing that. We're working on changing this. Right over here. We want to see the very little opportunities in Hawaii go up. Yeah, so that's what we're doing. But the reason why Hawaii doesn't have a lot of VTuber events in the Hawaiian Islands is pretty simple. It is due to prices, business rules, and logistics. So do keep in mind, the logistics and the prices, especially the different culture, also plays a really, really big role in why there isn't as many VTuber events in the Hawaiian Islands as there are on the US mainland. But despite that, there is also another reason why VTubers are very popular in Hawaii. And that is because Hawaii has very strong ties with Japan. So, alright. Hawaii and Japan have very strong ties. Very, very strong ties. Very, very strong ties. In fact, most of the sister cities in Japan are also sister cities in Hawaii too. Yeah. Different culture shouldn't matter much in the long run. That is something that we definitely agree with at VTuber Expo, is we believe that because of Hawaii's melting pot culture and because of Hawaii's strong ties with Japan, in fact, Hawaii has the largest amount of sister cities in the entire US. We have a large amount of sister cities. We do. And I actually learned about this recently too, that we have about 30 sister cities in Hawaii that are also sister cities in Japan. So we have about 30 sister cities. Did you guys all know that Hawaii has the highest amount of sister cities compared to the rest of the US? Yeah, so we have about 30 sister cities between Hawaii and Japan. I didn't know that. Yeah. So we do have a very large amount of sister cities. Because if you guys look at the information about sister cities, you guys can check out the website. But there are as many as 30 sister cities in Japan that are also sister cities in Hawaii too. So we have a very large amount of sister cities. Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty cool, right? But yeah, we have 30 sister cities. So 30 out of... Yeah, we have one of the highest. California is also there too. Yeah, California is like first, and then Hawaii is like around 30 to 32. So we have one of the top sister cities. Yeah. That's what. We have very strong ties with Japan. And because of that, VTubers are very, very popular. But a lot of you guys are asking this question. Very cool. Yeah, it is pretty cool. It is pretty, pretty awesome. But yeah, if you guys do ever want to learn about Hawaii sister cities in Japan, I recommend you guys definitely take a look at it, because it's very, very fascinating to learn about Hawaii's relationship with Japan. And the sister cities too. We have one of the largest sister cities too. California and Hawaii, I would say they have one of the highest amount of sister cities. And then Washington is also there too, yeah. But I know Hawaii is on the top list. For sure, for sure. So, with that being said, the question remains, how does VTuber Expo manage to stay successful despite the high cost of living and the business restrictions? How does VTuber Expo manage to stay successful? How do we manage to be able to do all of the things that we're doing? How do we manage to do all of this? How do we manage to? How do we manage to do it? So, how do we manage to do all of this? I know you guys are asking, how do we manage to do all of this? Our question is pretty simple. We use a middleman model. So, our middleman model is very similar to what McDonald's, Coffee Bean, and Sonic. So, what do you think McDonald's, Coffee Bean, and Sonic all have in common? Can you guys guess what these three chains all have in common? So can you guys guess? What does McDonald's, Coffee Bean, and Sonic all have in common? But yeah. Coffee Bean, yeah, like Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. Can you guys guess what they all have in common? But yeah. What do you guys think all three of them have in Hawaii? Never heard of Coffee Bean, but I think they're found all over the world. That's one. But what are all three? A local office. Yes, correct. Correct, Adel. So, all three businesses use local franchises to partner with their businesses in Hawaii. Yeah, correct, Adel. They have local middleman offices. So, that is what they use. So, you guys see how McDonald's, Sonic, and Coffee Bean in Hawaii, and when you guys look up the local franchises, it's so different compared to the mainland? So, Sonic in Hawaii, Coffee Bean in Hawaii, and McDonald's in Hawaii use a local franchise. These are all owned by local franchises in Hawaii. So they are, while they are mainland companies, they're owned by mainland corporations. They technically in Hawaii are under local franchisees. So, Sonic is owned by a former NFL player in Hawaii. Yes. Sonic Hawaii is owned by a former NFL player. So, you guys might be pretty surprised, but Sonic in Hawaii is owned by a former NFL player. Who grew up in the Hawaiian Islands. Yeah. Okay then, yeah. So I'll type in the chat what the owner is. But these are former NFL players. I'll type in the owners of Sonic in Hawaii. So hold on. I'm gonna type this in the chat. But these are the two owners in the Hawaiian Islands that own Sonic. These brothers. So let's type it in the chat. But yes, these were former NFL players. I was throwing out thinking Sonic was the hedgehog rather than the restaurant. Yeah, this is not Sonic the Hedgehog. This is very, very different. This is not about Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog's pretty cool though. It's pretty cool though. But we are not talking about Sonic the Hedgehog. We are talking about Sonic Drive-In, which is a fast food restaurant. Very, very different. If you guys are wondering what the company is this one. That's the company that owns Sonic in Hawaii. It's called North Shore Provisions. And it's founded by two former NFL players who are brothers. Yeah. Yeah. It's founded by a former NFL player. Which helped out with Sonic in Hawaii. But yeah, I recommend you guys go check it out. It's pretty cool. Learning about the local franchises in Hawaii. Makes sense? Yeah. Okay. Guess who owns Coffee Bean in Hawaii? Can you guys take a guess? Oh, thank you for the raid! Thank you so much for the raid! Welcome in, Raiders! Just in time! Hello! Welcome, welcome in! Welcome in, Raiders! Thank you so much! Thank you! Alright, let me give you a shout out. Thank you again for the raid. You are just in time! Ola, welcome in! Hello, Queen of Strength! Thanks for the raids! Thank you, thank you. Let me give you a shout out. Welcome, welcome in, Raiders. You are just in time. Straddles, another raid again? Oh my goodness, a double raid coming in from Straddles. Thank you. Straddles, thank you for the raids. Thank you for the double raids. I appreciate the double raids. Thank you. All right, welcome in, Raiders. We got a double raid coming on in today. We're in a collab. Awesome sauce. Thank you so much for the double raids. Thank you for the raids. Hold on, let me shout you guys out. Okay, I have to wait 22 more seconds before I could shout you guys out. But yes, thank you again for the double raids. Straddles, welcome on in. Let me give you a follow. Welcome, welcome in. And Olo, welcome in as well. Thank you so much. But yeah, how was your guys' collab stream? Hope the collab all went well. Thank you so much again. Welcome in. You guys are just in time. Okay. Hold on. I have to refresh the chat because I'm not able to give a shout out to Straddles for some reason. So let me refresh the chat real quick and then I'll be sure to give my introduction after this. So hold on. Thank you for the collab. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Let's do that. Straddles. Okay. Wait, hold on. Oh my goodness. I am so sorry. I do not know why it's having tech issues with the shoutouts. VTubers are popular in Hawaii? Yes, very popular. Very, very popular. Very popular. But despite the popularity, the reason why there's not many VTuber events in Hawaii is because of the restrictions. There's a lot of restrictions for businesses in Hawaii, and logistics also plays a very big role. Yeah. Very, very big role. They're very popular in Hawaii. Oh, thank you so much, Stratos! Welcome in! Just in time. Okay, perfect! But yes, welcome in with the double raids. Thank you so much again for the double raids. I'm Cooky Usagida. I'm VTuber Expo's least chaotic pink bunny mage. And today, we are starting the recruitment process for VTuber Expo's 2026 events. If you guys would like to join our Discord, please feel free to do so. And feel free to check out our Discord server link. But nice to meet you guys. Thank you again for the double raids. I appreciate it. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day with the collapse. And now with that being said, we're going to go over the presentation. So feel free to stick around and stay tuned. Thank you again for the double raids on Twitch. I appreciate it. But yes, VTubers are very popular in Hawaii. And they are very popular for several different reasons. One reason is that Hawaii has very strong ties with Japan. And because Japan and Hawaii have very strong ties, in fact, Hawaii has 30 sister cities. About 30 to 32 sister cities in Japan. 32 sister cities in Japan have ties with Hawaii. That is literally on the top 3. One of the top 5 states with the highest amount of sister cities in Japan. We are at one of the top rates. Yeah. One of the top. We are at the top. Well, not at the top exactly. The top is California. Hawaii, I would say it's around like number 2 or number 3. But we have very strong ties. Yeah. Very, very strong ties. But yeah. There is a demand for VTubers in Hawaii. We have been noticing in recent years too that Hawaii has been getting a lot of VTuber events in Hawaii as well. We've been getting a lot of demands at VTuber Expo. Pretty cool, right? Alright. Any other questions or any concerns before we move on? Alright. Let's move on with the middleman model. Okay. We were now on Coffee Bean. So, the last question that we were on is, who owns Coffee Bean in Hawaii? So can you guys guess who owns Coffee Bean in Hawaii? Alright, so you do know that Coffee Bean is owned by the parent company that owns Jollibee. But can you guys guess who is Coffee Bean's owner in Hawaii? Who owns Coffee Bean? You guys know Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf, right? So, Coffee Bean's parent company. So, Coffee Bean's parent company is the same company as Jollibee, also known as the Jollibee Foods Corporation. But who owns Jollibee in Hawaii? Alright, let's see. So, could you guys guess who owns the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf in Hawaii? Hint, it's not Jollibee. Jollibee does not own Coffee Bean in Hawaii. They do not own... No, not North Shore. Not North Shore. I'll give you a hint. It's a major grocery store chain in Hawaii. I'll give you a hint. Major grocery store chain in Hawaii. It's a major grocery store chain. It's a chain of grocery stores. It's a big grocery store chain. Like one of the very famous grocery store chains in Hawaii. So I'll give you a hint. This is the hint. What is the most popular grocery store in Hawaii? Alright, can you guys guess who owns Coffee Bean? Walmart? No, not Walmart. Not Walmart. A local grocery store chain. Not Walmart. Walmart is like a one-stop shop. Yeah. But yes. Can you guys guess who owns Coffee Bean in Hawaii? And I'll give you guys the answers. Okay. But yes, not Jollibee. Not Jollibee. Jollibee does not own Coffee Bean in Hawaii. But it is owned by a very big grocery store chain in Hawaii. It's a locally owned grocery store chain. It's very, very popular, very well known. And you might have seen their name. Yes! Foodland! Foodland owns Coffee Bean. Correct. Foodland owns Coffee Bean. Yes. Foodland owns Coffee Bean. The parent company of Coffee Bean is also owned by Foodland in Hawaii. Basically like a franchise, yeah. Like a franchise agreement. Yes. Foodland owns Coffee Bean in Hawaii as a franchise partner. So they partner up with a franchise agreement. Yes, correct. Now you guys might be wondering why you guys may see Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf at Foodland. And it is because they use a franchise model that is owned by the same people as Foodland. So Foodland does own Coffee Bean in Hawaii as a franchise partner. Yeah. So there you go. Foodland. Now last one. McDonald's of Hawaii. McDonald's of Hawaii. Right. So. Right. Last one. Who owns McDonald's in Hawaii? What is the franchise name for McDonald's in Hawaii? Alright. What is the franchise name? Alright. But yes. Hint. McDonald's in Hawaii is owned by a local franchise company that also operates the McDonald's in Guam. So the McDonald's in Guam and the McDonald's in Hawaii are operated by this one franchise company. So, which is the franchise company that owns McDonald's in Hawaii? Alright. So here's a hint. I'm gonna give you guys a hint. Okay? So, the hint also operates in Guam as well. So they're under the same franchise company. What is the McDonald's franchise name that operates in Hawaii and Guam? They're under the same franchise owner. But what is the name of... Oh yes, also Saipan too. They do operate in Saipan as well. But they're under this one franchise company. But yeah. Okay. Now we do know Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf is under the same franchise ownership in Hawaii as Malama Market and Fulan. But what is the name of McDonald's franchise company in Hawaii? Alright. McDonald's in Hawaii's franchise company. Okay. So guys want me to reveal it? Alright. So, McDonald's, this franchise company in Hawaii, is McDonald's. Wait. Okay. So, McDonald's restaurants in Hawaii, the franchise name is McDonald's Restaurants of Hawaii, Inc. Or McDonald's Restaurants of Hawaii, Incorporated. They are under the same franchise company. They are located inside Walmart, but the franchise owner is actually McDonald's Restaurants of Hawaii, Inc. They're under a local franchise company. All of them are under franchise companies in Hawaii. But yeah, they are all under the same franchise company. All of them are under local franchises. But if we act as like a franchise or middleman, we are able to do this for half the price of what can be done on the mainland. So we act as a middleman. So if you think about Sonic, if you think about McDonald's, and if you think about Coffee Bean and what they're able to do, they partner with these local franchises. Even Baskin Robbins. You guys know Baskin Robbins, right? Baskin Robbins in Hawaii is also owned by a local franchise company in Hawaii. Baskin Robbins is actually owned by a local franchise company in Hawaii. In fact, several local franchises in Hawaii. Several of them, actually. So, you guys know that the main franchise company in Hawaii for Baskin Robbins is actually owned by a company in Japan. So Baskin Robbins in Hawaii and in Japan are very similar because they're under the same franchise company. And the company is called 31 Aika Lima LLC, which is a subsidiary of a company in Japan. So that's why the Baskin Robbins in Hawaii and Japan do have some similarities because they're under the same franchise company. But yes, a lot of these companies, when you guys look at all of these franchise companies, right? They all work with local franchise companies to bring these chains to Hawaii. And that is because there are different rules of VTubing in Hawaii. There's different rules of businesses in the Hawaiian Islands. And because of the logistics and prices and business rules. So these local companies, these mainland corporations like McDonald's, Coffee Bean, and Sonic, and even Baskin Robbins, they partner with these local franchises and these local individuals to bring their businesses to the Hawaiian Islands. And they became pretty successful. They became very, very successful here because they were able to cater to the Hawaii market by hiring on these local franchisees. So that's the secret. But yeah. Did you guys all know that they all bring on local companies in the Hawaiian Islands? Yeah, pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. Alright. Any questions or any concerns about like local franchises in Hawaii? I know it's pretty interesting to see how McDonald's in Hawaii, Coffee Bean in Hawaii, and Sonic in Hawaii are under local companies and local franchises. But do you guys have any questions about what's it like in the Hawaiian Islands? But yeah, any questions? Any questions? It's pretty interesting, right? It's pretty interesting. Yeah, it is pretty interesting. Alright. So what's the connection here? So the connection is that VTuber Expo operates as a middleman, like a franchisee to these VTubers. So, for example, by having VTubers partner with us, like what McDonald's does, what Coffee Bean does, what Sonic did, we are able to bring these VTubers to the Hawaiian Islands for half the price. For half the price of the logistics, the prices of flying to and from the Hawaiian Islands, we act as like a local franchisee. So think about, let's say, you want to bring Sonic to Hawaii, right? Let's say you want to open a Sonic drive-in, right? You would have to go through a local franchisee, right? So what Sonic, Coffee Bean, and McDonald's did is partner up with these local companies, partner up with these local franchisees. And because they were able to adapt to partner with these local franchisees, they were able to adapt to the Hawaii market easier, and they were able to be successful in the Hawaiian Islands because they were able to use this local middleman model. So we have McDonald's of Hawaii for McDonald's, we have Food Land for Coffee Bean, and we have North Shore for Sonic. And we have 31 Ikalima for Baskin Robbins. Now, this is not all the Baskin Robbins locations, but most Baskin Robbins locations in Hawaii are owned by a Japanese company. They're under a subsidiary of a Japanese company. Just like how 7-Eleven in Hawaii is also under a Japanese company, the 7-Elevens also are very similar with the Baskin Robbins here too. Yeah. So do keep in mind. It's very, very similar. But yes. think about High VTuber Expo as like a franchisee. So, if a VTuber, for example, wants to partner up with us and they want to go to KawaiiCon, right? There's two options. The first method is by contacting KawaiiCon directly or applying for a panel or booth over there. Or they could operate as a local middleman model, very similar to what McDonald's or what Coffee Bean does or what Sonic does. And we act as a franchisee for these VTubers to be able to go under us. So that's what we use. We use this middleman model. It's very, very similar to what McDonald's uses, to what Sonic uses, to what Coffee Bean uses, and what Baskin Robbins uses. Basically, we operate as a franchisee to these VTubers. So, if, for example, you're a VTuber and you say, hey, I want to make an event appearance in the Hawaiian Islands. I want to debut in Hawaii. But I have a background of being out of state or being international. So, normally, you would partner up with a company, right? You would partner up with like the convention, right? And you contact them. But this can be very difficult because, you know, there's different cultures and different logistics and prices. Okay, yeah. There we go. Like something like that. So we act as like a franchisee of these VTubers. And that means by partnering up with a local franchisee like High VTuber Expo, we're able to bring these VTubers for half the cost. So think about it like McDonald's. Also, thank you so much for the likes, by the way. I appreciate the likes. Thank you so much. So, think of us as like a local franchisee. Or middleman. But yeah. But in other words, as you guys can tell, we act as a middleman for VTubers that want to enter the Hawaii market. So that is what we do in other words. But yeah. So for example, we're the ones that handle all the technical work. We handle marketing, social media for the VTubers that want to appear in Hawaii. And all they gotta do is just show up. That's it. That's all they gotta do. And by using the method that is used by McDonald's, by Sonic, by Baskin Robbins, by all of these major corporations for what they did in the Hawaiian Islands. And even, for example, you know, you guys all know about Don Quixote, right? So when Don Quixote entered in the market, you guys all remember Daye. So, you guys all remember Daye. So, Daye in Hawaii started in the 1980s. And I grew up in the era of Daye. So I grew up seeing like the Daye signs across like all the locations. But Daye went bankrupt in 2006. So they either had to shut down all the stores or they had to sell off to another company. But luckily, Daye got bought out by Don Quixote. Daye stores in Hawaii, all their Hawaii operations got bought out by another company named Don Quixote. Now, Don Quixote is a very popular discount store in Hawaii. They are a very popular discount store. And they wanted to come to the Hawaiian Islands. And at the time, Don Quixote was really thinking about, I want to come to the Hawaiian Islands, but we're not so sure how we're going to start. So, they hear the news that Daye is struggling and that they're going bankrupt and that they're on the verge of closing down. So, and today, and even to this day, you will still hear the Daye name from many locals. Even now to this day, because Don Quixote actually in Hawaii used to be Diane, you will hear many locals still here use the Don Quixote stores as Diane. Yes, even now. You will still hear them because they actually used to be in Diane locations that were actually holiday mart. Yeah, there you go. Like that. And then now today, because Don Quixote bought out the Hawaii operations of Diane, they're now under Don Quixote. And because Don Quixote got very successful in Hawaii, they were eventually able to buy out Time Supermarket. And now today, Time Supermarket is now under Don Quixote. So yeah. That is the story of Diane. So the next time you guys go to Don Quixote in Hawaii, you might be pretty surprised that some of the stuff that you'll see at Don Quixote may actually have some reminiscence of the old Diane stores or the old Holiday Mart stores that existed once upon a time. But yeah. That's what it is. Pretty interesting, right? Yeah, that is Hawaii's business operations. Both franchises and middlemen. Alright. Any questions about everything that we all learned so far? So we all learned about the local franchises. We talked about Diane. We talked about how Diane was struggling. It was on the verge of bankruptcy. And Diane was planning on either shutting down the U.S. operations or selling off their U.S. stores. Okay. Yes, any questions before we move on? Oh yeah, feel free to ask your questions, Straddles. Feel free to ask you guys questions at any time. Yeah, feel free to type in your guys' questions at any time. Like I said, don't hesitate to ask you guys questions. That's what today's stream's for. That's what today's stream's for. About participating in VTuber Expo or learning about what VTuber Expo is. Please do not hesitate to ask me your guys' questions at any given time. That's what we're here for. We're here to answer your questions. That's what we are here for. We are here to answer the questions that you guys may have. We're here for the questions. That's what we're here for. Alright. Last minute questions before we move on. Alright. But yes, friendly reminder, Cookie Nation. And friendly reminder to everybody. Don't be afraid to ask you guys questions in the chat. That's what we're here for. We're here to answer your questions. Alright. Now, the last question is, now that I know about VTuber Expo, now I know about what we're doing, how do I get involved in VTuber Expo? How do I work with VTuber Expo on bringing VTubers from Hawaii to the world? How do I get involved? So now that I know about VTuber Expo, now I know what events I'm going to be doing. How do I get involved in VTuber Expo? How do I work with VTuber Expo? That's the question. How do I get involved? And there are several different ways that you can get involved. So, throughout the year, we offer event appearance opportunities that VTubers can sign up for. And we are actually currently working on several different ones. In fact, we are currently in the process of finalizing several different event appearances that are coming up over the summer. So, we are finalizing our event appearances there. So, how do you guys participate in these events? It's pretty simple. Is that you sign up for these event appearances throughout the year. I do recommend that if you guys are going to sign up, apply often and apply early, because these event appearance opportunities are technically sold out. They can technically sell out very, very fast. So I really recommend, the one tip I'm gonna say is really apply early and apply often. Please, please, please. If you don't get in the first one, you can always try again later on. Apply early and apply often. So please, please do. That is the pro tip that I can recommend. Apply early and apply often, because these event slots and these event opportunities will be selling out faster than you can say lickety split. So please, please, please do sign up. If you are interested, please sign up early and sign up often. Because we got plenty of events throughout the year too. So if you don't make it to KawaiiCon, that's absolutely fine. We have plenty of different opportunities that are available. So please don't forget to sign up. So, for example, the KawaiiCon event appearances, for example, is in person. But the VTuber appearance from the setup, while our in-house VTuber Winter Prom is online and on stream. So we live stream the VTuber Winter Prom. Right? So you have to really think about which are you applying for. Are you applying for a convention appearance like KawaiiCon or Pop Culture Expo? Or are you planning on applying for an in-house event like the VTuber Care Awards or the VTuber Winter Prom? So you have to really, really think about which you are applying for. Because keep in mind, VTuber Expo has different events throughout the year. And these event opportunities are not just online, they're also in person too. So you gotta keep this in mind when you guys are applying. So if you guys are more interested in our appearance opportunities, what is the Winter Prom? Good question. So the Winter Prom is an annual event. We recently had our Winter Prom back in December, but it was a 3-day annual event, which we had karaoke relay, we had VR chat, we had like the showcases of the calling, we had a BBWE tournament, we had a WWE tournament. So we had plenty of different things that were happening throughout the Winter Prom. But that's basically what it is. If you want to check out our VTuber Winter Prom, you can check out the VTuber Expo channel. It is located right over here on YouTube. So, again, that's VTuber Expo on YouTube right over here. So, if you would like to check out what we have, you can check out our YouTube channel right over here. We have a lot of opportunities, so feel free to take a look and check it out. Hi, Cookie, just stopping by before bed. Don't worry, CJ, thank you for stopping by. So, that is what our VTuber Winter Prom is. Basically, it's an annual event, and there's plenty of different opportunities. It's a 3-day event. We have karaoke relays, we have VR chat, we did a showcase this year too, so that was pretty cool. And we also had like a game competition with WWE. It was awesome. It was really, really awesome. All right. For 2026, though, we want to expand the WWE tournament and expand the karaoke relay, so that's what we're planning on doing. We want to be able to expand it. So that is what we're planning on for 2026. But yeah. We usually start the application process for the Winter Prom around October, September. So that's when we start opening up these opportunities. But I would recommend, for any event opportunities like KawaiiCon, if you see an event opportunity, apply for it early and apply often for event opportunity slots, because these event slots sell by fast. They sell pretty quickly. So make sure, and what I mean by sell by pretty quickly is they basically get filled up pretty quickly, basically. They fill up pretty fast. So I really recommend, if you want to be coming to these events in the Hawaiian Islands, please make sure you guys apply early. But most of all, make sure you guys apply often. Because if you don't get into an event opportunity the first time around, there is a very, very good chance that you might be able to get in for a future event opportunity. So I recommend you apply early and apply often. So, if you want to contact VTuber Expo, the best way to do so is either social media or email. This is the best way you can contact VTuber Expo. So the simplest question is VTuberExpo@gmail.com. So make sure you guys, I recommend you guys take a screenshot right now because this is what's really, really going to help with contacting any inquiries related to our events. So if you have anything, do not contact the Cooky Usagida email. The Cooky Usagida email is for Cooky Usagida things only, not VTuber Expo related stuff. VTuber Expo has its own email and its own social media pages. So your best bet is contacting the VTuber Expo page via online or social media. So, do remember, VTuberExpo@gmail.com. That is the best way you can apply for event opportunities. The best way. VTuberExpo@gmail.com. Alright. But yes, that is our email. Make sure you guys check out VTuberExpo@gmail.com. That is our email address. And we also are Blue Sky. We are also on Twitter as well. You can check out our YouTube page for more information. And our website is on the way. So we have a website. And once the website gets released, then we're going to showcase all of our social media pages. Thank you, Subway, for all your work. I appreciate it. And thank you for the hype, too. I appreciate the hype. Thank you. Thank you. So, additionally, if you have any questions or concerns about making event appearances in Hawaii, remember, we help regardless of affiliation. So you do not need to be an indie VTuber to join VTuber Expo. Agency VTubers too. If you're in a VTuber company or if you're in a VTuber group, we help with that too. That's the thing. Whether you're in a VTuber company, we help with that too. We do. Doesn't matter whether it's an indie VTuber or a corporate VTuber, we help out with that too. So, if you are part of a VTuber company, we also help out with that. Regardless of your affiliation, we help out with that. Thank you, Ado. You take care. Thank you. I appreciate the questions. But yeah, it's pretty neat. Yeah, it is pretty cool. But do remember, regardless of affiliation, whether you're in a VTuber company, whether you're in a VTuber group, we help out with that. So you do not need to be an indie VTuber. We do not need to be an indie VTuber to be part of the VTuber Expo family. You can be in an agency and still be part of VTuber Expo. But yeah, for those that are wondering, I'm in a VTuber company. Does VTuber Expo work with VTuber agencies as well? And the answer is yes. We work with VTubers regardless of affiliation. So if you're in a VTuber company, you can have the VTuber company reach out to us, your management, on your behalf, and you can have them work with you. Pretty cool, right? So we help out with both indies and agency VTubers. So if you're in a VTuber company, we help out with that. If you're in a VTuber group, we also help out with that too. But yeah, we do help out with that as well. All right. Any other questions or concerns before we move on with our final tips and advice? But yes, if you're a corporate VTuber, if you're in a VTuber group or an agency, we can still help you out. Like I said, regardless of whether you're in a company, whether you're in a VTuber group, whether you're an indie, we can help out with that. We help out with affiliation. So, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. Whether you're part of a VTuber company, whether you're part of a VTuber group, we help out with that. Alright. I'm gonna go use the restroom and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Sorry, guys. Okay. I have to go to the restroom. Alright. So, any other additional questions or concerns before we move on to our last slide for today? Alright. Last one. But yes, feel free to type in you guys' questions at any time. Do not hesitate to ask me questions. We are here to help you guys. So please, please, please do not hesitate to ask us questions. We are here to ask and answer the questions that you guys may have. Also, I plan to make this presentation later down the line open, just like how we have our VTuber events in Hawaii, like prepare for a VTuber event. So we're planning on opening those up as well. I have that presentation that I did not put up for the public, but I plan to open this up too. So feel free to check it out. All right. Okay. This is the last one that we have, and then it's question time, and then that's gonna be it for today's stream. I'm gonna be redirecting you guys to Twitch Hawaii. Also, Dad Caleb is having a birthday stream, so make sure you guys come out to the birthday stream this weekend. I'm planning on stopping by to say hello, so please do feel free to stop by and wish them happy birthday. Yeah! Alright. Any questions or any concerns before we move on to the last one for today? Alright, any last minute questions or concerns? I know tomorrow is Jackbox, so I plan to stop by and wish Dad happy birthday. But yeah. Okay. Last one. Alright. Last minute questions, last minute concerns. Okay. Alright, we are now moving on to our last one. Tips for applying for Hawaii events. This is important. So, if you want to increase your chances of getting accepted into a VTuber Expo event, I'm going to recommend you guys a couple tips on how you guys can get into and increase your chances of getting into a Hawaii event. These are pro tips that I would recommend that you guys can do to get accepted into a Hawaii event. So, I know there are a lot of questions out there. About these Hawaii events. But I'm gonna recommend you guys a couple tips on how you guys can appear at Hawaii events. So this is my advice and my tips on how you can increase your chances of getting accepted into a Hawaii event. This is just my advice. Alright. Any other questions or concerns before we move on to the last one for today? Alright. Any last questions before we move on to the last one? And then we're going to answer your questions, and then we're going to redirect you guys to Twitch Hawaii. But yeah, we're going to redirect you guys to Twitch Hawaii right after. But yeah, last minute questions, last minute concerns before we move on to Twitch Hawaii. Redirect. Okay, any last minute questions, last minute concerns? Alright. Okay, so let's talk about tips for applying for Hawaii events. This is my advice and my tips on how you can stand out when you guys choose to apply for VTuber Expo events. Alright, so here are my tips on how you can get into these event opportunities. This is my advice as someone who's been organizing many different events across the Hawaiian Islands. And so this is what I recommend. Number one, this is the number one thing. You have to consider the event appearances you want to do. So keep in mind, VTuber Expo offers in-person and online events. So you have to really think about which events you want to do. This is pretty important because VTuber Expo offers a variety of different events throughout the year. So are you interested in appearing at an in-person event like KawaiiCon or online like the Winter Prom? So you have to really think about which events you want to do, because while some VTubers want to appear at the VTuber Winter Prom, other VTubers want to do conventions. No two events are alike for VTubers. Keep this in mind. Also, welcome in Odo to Irium. How you doing? Welcome in. For the first time, how you doing? So, remember, no two events are alike. What is preferable for one VTuber may not be preferable for the other. You have to think about which event slots you're signing up for. That's the thing. If you want to go to the Winter Prom, which is an online only event that's not in person, keep this in mind. That is not in person. The VTuber Winter Prom is online only. You have to think about which events you're going to apply for. Do you want to apply for an online only event like the Winter Prom? Or do you want to appear at an in-person event like KawaiiCon or Pop Culture Expo? Now, Pop Culture Expo and KawaiiCon are in-person events. Not online, in person. So keep this in mind. If you want to appear at an event like the VTuber Winter Prom, you gotta understand that it is online only. And if you're appearing at an in-person event like KawaiiCon, you will still be able to appear from your setup, but that is mostly in person. So keep in mind that there may be tech issues and that there may be internet issues, depending on the event process. So do keep this in mind when you guys are choosing the events that you guys want to go to. Very, very important. All right. Any other questions or concerns before we move on to our next tip? Consider event appearances you want to do. So think about, like, what kind of events do you prefer? Because no two VTubers are alike with events. What is preferable for one VTuber may not be so profitable for another. So really, really think about what you guys want to do. All right. Next one. This is important. Show, not tell. Do not tell, but show. This is important. When you are wanting to apply, not just for VTuber Expo, but for any VTuber event, you want to show what you can do. Do not tell. Show them. Do not tell. If, for example, you say the reason why you want to apply for the VTuber Winter Prom is because you have a good singing voice, then showcase a song cover or an original song you did. Showcase clips of you singing. This is important. If you got clips, please consider showing them. Not telling, but showing them for what you can do. For example, if you got clips of you singing on your YouTube shorts, that counts as showcasing it. Show what you can do. Show what you did. Show what you can do. Show us why you want to work with us. You want to work with us so bad. Show what you can do. Don't tell us that you want to work with us. Show why you want to work with us. That's important. That is very, very important. Please, 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 please. Do not tell us. Instead, show us why you want to be part of the VTuber Expo family. if you say, for example, that you want to be part of VTuber Expo because you're funny, showcase some funny moments or some funny clips you did on stream. Of why you want to be part of VTuber Expo. For example, if you say that you can voice act, that you want to be part of VTuber Expo's events because you can voice act, showcase the voice impression clips. Like, for example, if you did like a comic dub, showcase it. Don't be afraid to showcase what you got on your portfolio. This is your time to market yourself. Promote yourself. What you can do. And what makes you stand out. And what makes you want to work with us with VTuber Expo. Showcase a skill or something that helps you stand out. That helps us a lot with the selection process. That really, really, really does. I want to see what you can do. So if, for example, you have a KawaiiCon event that you want to do, show us. Show us why we should work with you. If, for example, you say that you're good at Counter-Strike, show us Counter-Strike clips. Show us clips. Show us clips of like a Counter-Strike moments. Show us. Don't tell us. Show us. But yeah, that is one of my biggest pros. Showcase your guys' clips. That is the best way I can say when it comes to applying for these events. Show, not tell. The next one, quality above all else. This is especially important if you're planning on doing a karaoke relay or a concert. If you are planning on applying, especially for our VTuber Winter Prom relays, this is a major thing that we look at. We really look at your quality when it comes to the karaoke relay. This is what we look at the most. We look at a good quality production. Because here's the thing. When it comes to quality, we want to make sure that the audio is visible in a performance or concert-like setting. So, especially if you're applying for any of our karaoke relays or our concerts, quality is above all. I really, really recommend to take a look at this if you're planning on applying for like a karaoke relay or a concert series. Like I said, we offer different events. So if you're not able to do a karaoke relay session, that is absolutely fine. We have plenty of different events. But quality, a good quality production, it's going to play a major part in how you get selected for a karaoke relay or concert section. So good quality above all else. Take your time when it comes to these covers. Take your time when it comes to showcasing what you can do. A good quality production is going to play a major, major role in how we select. Alright. And next, but important thing on this slide, your reputation. Now, this is vital because we do also take a look at your reputation in the VTubing scene. Hi VTuber Expo, we can tell your guys' reputation. Because keep in mind, we are working with various organizations across the Hawaiian Islands. So when you are applying for these events, please keep in mind your reputation is everything. So for example, if you have done things that are controversial within the VTuber world, that could decrease your chances of getting accepted into an event opportunity with VTuber Expo. So really, really, really make sure when you are looking at working with VTuber Expo that you keep your reputation in mind. Your reputation is everything. So a good reputation is a major part of the selection process. So if, for example, you've been involved in some really controversial stuff within the VTubing world, and you are applying for a VTuber Expo event, like anything like super controversial, that can play a really big role and can decrease your chances of getting selected for a VTuber Expo event in the future. Yeah. All right. Any questions or any concerns about VTuber Expo events? Also, welcome in Cody. How are you doing? From Irium. Welcome, welcome in. You're having a little bit of tips and talks and tricks about VTuber Expo. So this is applied for any Hawaii event, but keep in mind, these are the most important. Reputation is everything. Quality above all. Show, not tell. And consider the event appearances you want to do. Please, 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 when you guys are applying for any VTuber Expo event, please consider all of these things. We have more things that I highly recommend as well that you can take a look at later down the line. But this is what's really going to help you with increasing your chances of getting accepted into these VTuber related events. Really, really take a look at your reputation. If you've been involved in major controversies, there's a very, very slim chance that you'll get accepted. Apologies if you don't get accepted, but your chances of getting accepted into a VTuber Expo event, if you have done controversial stuff, is very, very, very slim. So please keep your reputation in mind. Remember, we are working with various organizations across the Hawaiian Islands. And because we are working with these various event organizations, and because we work with various different projects, that is why when it comes to the VTubers that work with us, we really look at your reputation. So please keep this in mind. All right. Next one. Now, the 5 Ws, you might have learned this in school. Who, what, when, where, why. We really consider this as part of the selection process. Now, here's the thing. When we select VTubers to be part of our event opportunities, we select VTubers based on the 5 Ws. For example, who are you as a VTuber? What is your content? When are you able to turn in the content that you're able to turn into? If it's a meet and greet, where will you be able to stream if applicable, and why do you plan to do it? So for example, if you turn in an application of why we ask, like let's say, I want to be part of VTuber Expo or do events because I want to make money. Or I want to be able to make money or make plenty of money or plenty of different profits. That's going to be a very difficult chance of being accepted into it, because VTuber Expo mainly focuses on community first. So keep in mind, we mainly focus on the VTubing scene. So if, for example, you say, I want to be part of VTuber Expo, be part of these events because I want to make a lot of money, that can be your chances of getting accepted into a VTuber Expo event if your only reason why you want to get accepted is that so you can make a lot of money, is pretty slim. But if you want to be part of a VTuber Expo event, this is what we really consider. We call this like a vibe check. So, if for example, let's say you want to apply for VTuber Expo events because you want to make plenty of money, it doesn't really fit well with the vibe that VTuber Expo is trying to create. So that doesn't fit in well with the theme of our vibe. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the last question that we have is, are you able to try your best to beat the expectation or theme of VTuber Expo's events? So that is something that we really do consider. Are you able to try your best to meet the expectation or themes of the VTuber Expo event? Keep this in mind that there are expectations of ensuring that you're able to follow these expectations of the rules while under VTuber Expo's events. So are you able to try your best to meet the expectations or the themes of VTuber Expo's events? That is something that we try our best to. Because, for example, one event with VTuber Expo may not work well in another. So that is something to also look forward to. The next also thing that we look forward to is how you treat the staff and how you treat other VTubers. That is also something that we really look into. Because here's the thing. The VTuber Expo team, the people that are under VTuber Expo, are also VTubers themselves. So please keep this in mind. If the response, for example, takes a while to respond, that is because the people that are under VTuber Expo that work directly under VTuber Expo, like myself, are also content creators who also have IRL responsibilities. Like, for example, they're in college, they have work, they have family, they have to go to family responsibilities. And those take up time. Jobs, school, family, relationships, those take up time. So please be considerate of the staff that are under VTuber Expo, because they're also content creators themselves too. You know, not just part of the VTuber Expo team, but they are also content creators too, who also have responsibilities like jobs, school, family, relationships. So please be considerate. And not just be considerate, but also support the staff too. Even after the events are over, supporting the VTuber Expo staff, like for example, myself, and engaging with the content is one of the best ways that you can support VTuber Expo. Supporting the staff directly as well really helps out a lot. You know, the VTuber Expo team will also be VTubers themselves. Exactly. We are also content creators, and we have IRL responsibilities. And we are working tirelessly to ensure that you have a great time at the event with your fans. So, if there are any technical difficulties, please give us heads up. If there is anything like questions or concerns, please let us know. We want to make your experience a fun one. But most importantly, please respect this team. Please respect the staff, because the staff also are VTubers themselves who also have IRL responsibilities. And they're also working tirelessly to ensure that you have a great time at the event with your fans. So the two most important keys to getting accepted is a heads up and respect. So if you're not able, for example, to turn in your project earlier, give us a heads up, let us know, and we are more than happy to accommodate it. So as long as you give us a heads up, like, hey, you know, unfortunately, you know, I have, for example, some college assignments that are due, we are very understanding. But you have to give us a heads up. If you got questions, for example, like let's say you got questions, right? Don't be afraid to give us a heads up. We are here to help you guys. But you have to be the ones that are responsible for giving us the heads up and the prior notifications before anything else. But yes, please give us heads up. And most of all, please respect and support the staff. Especially after, too, because the staff are also working tirelessly to ensure that you have a great time. That is very, very important. And the last but not least, we love seeing everybody have fun at our events. So please, 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 if you can, I heavily encourage you guys to promote these events on social media. That means our Twitter, Blue Sky, Discord, Reddit, any social media posts. I heavily encourage people to talk about these events on social media. So please, 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 I heavily encourage it. I heavily encourage social media promotions and fan art. It's really appreciated and it really, really means a lot. And the most important thing too is to have fun. Just remember to stay PG or PG-13. Make sure you keep your content within the PG-13 range. And make sure you guys respect the staff. And you guys will be just fine. You guys will be just fine when it comes to these events. But yeah, as long as you guys are able to follow these tips, these rules, and tips and advice, I would say that it should be pretty straightforward. But we want to also encourage everybody to grow together between fans and their Oshis. So that is something that we're there for. That is something that we are there for. All right. Welcome in, Sound Lab. Welcome on in. We're just in time for the presentation. So, okay. That is pretty much it. Any questions about today's presentation stream? Right. Questions, concerns, any questions you guys have? That is pretty much it for today's presentation. But any questions before we redirect you guys to Twitch Hawaii? Any questions? Alright. Questions and concerns. Alright. This is a perfect time to ask you guys questions about VTuber Expo or any questions you guys may have. So, we're going to use this time to ask you guys questions, answer you guys questions. You got any questions? Feel free to ask us in the chat, and we're going to answer them before we head on out to Twitch Hawaii. So, any questions or concerns? This is a perfect time to ask you guys questions or ask you guys concerns before we gotta redirect you guys to Twitch Hawaii. I know Twitch Hawaii today, they have a very special event going on, and I want to redirect you guys to Twitch Hawaii, which we also work with. So, any questions, any concerns, any last minute questions or concerns? You know, we're here to help. And if you have any other questions, any other things you guys want to ask us, don't hesitate to ask us questions. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. Yeah, that's what we're here for. That is what we are here for. We are here to answer your guys' questions. All right. Last minute questions or concerns? Any last minute questions? Any last minute concerns before we redirect you guys to Twitch Hawaii? Now, by the way, Twitch Hawaii, they're an awesome organization. They do a lot of events across the Hawaiian Islands. So they work with a lot of VTuber events. They work with a lot of VTuber organizations. So if you guys want to check out an organization that works directly with Twitch streamers in Hawaii, I highly recommend you guys check out Twitch Hawaii. they work with Twitch streamers across the Hawaiian Islands. And it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool thing. I'm gonna redirect you guys to them right after. They're currently doing a organizers game night with organizers across the world. So it's pretty cool. It is such a cool opportunity. Also, please wish Dan Caleb a very happy birthday. Please go wish Dan Caleb a happy birthday. I know Dan Caleb's birthday is this week. So shout out to Dan Caleb. Hold on, let me shout out Dan Caleb real quick. But please go wish Dad a very happy birthday. I know Dad's birthday is this week. Make sure you guys go check out Dan's stream. It would really mean a lot. You guys can go check out my friend Dan. But yeah, it would really mean a lot to me if you guys can go check them out. All right. Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. There we go. Okay. But that is pretty much it for today's presentation. Any last minute questions or concerns before we head on out to today's stream? Also, welcome in, Mew. How you doing? Hope you're doing good. All right. Last minute questions, last minute concerns. Any last minute answers or questions before we head on out to today's raid? All right. Any questions you guys have? If you guys want to check out VTuber Expo, I'm more than likely going to release these presentations to the public. So you guys are more than welcome to check out these presentations and to learn more about what we do. But if you have any last minute questions or any concerns, this is a perfect time to ask you guys questions. If you guys want to join my Discord server, you guys don't want to ask questions here, that's okay. We also have our Discord server where you can ask us questions. We're more than happy to ask your guys questions there. But with that being said, everyone, thank you so much for coming. And thank you so much for participating and taking part in today's event. We really appreciate it. It really does mean a lot. So, thank you so much again. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate all the event opportunities and all the celebrations, too. Thank you, guys. Thank you. All right. So with that being said, that is pretty much it for today. And that's pretty much it for our presentation. Thank you all so much for coming. I hope you guys all enjoyed today's stream. If you guys have any additional questions or concerns about VTuber Expo, please don't be afraid to contact me. With that being said, we are going to be heading on out to our raid. Friendly reminder, let's our schedule before we end today's stream. We do have our schedule for this week. We're going to go over just really quick before we go over with our raid. Thank you again, Octobomb, for this week's art. We really appreciate it. But let's go over just a brief moment at our schedule. So, our schedule for this week is as follows. So, tomorrow we have a VOOP chat stream. That's at 1 p.m. HST. So, we're going to have a VOOP chat stream tomorrow. We're going to be on VOOP chat. We're going to be chatting tomorrow. I think it's Social Saturday tomorrow. So, we're going to do a little bit of a chill stream where we're going to be heading out on VOOP chat. And then Gundam Next Plus on Sunday. And then we also have a stream on Monday as well. Monday is a holiday here. So, yeah. Alright, everybody. That is pretty much it. We are getting ready to raid Twitch Hawaii. We're gonna go support them. Please support Twitch Hawaii. They do a lot for the VTubing scene in Hawaii. And I've worked with them several times and they're awesome. So thank you for coming and thank you for supporting VTuber Expo. And yeah, please give Twitch Hawaii all the love and support. And I hope to see you guys later. And please congratulate Twitch Hawaii too on reaching partner. Thank you so much again. And I hope to see you guys all next time. Alright. Cooky, and